Santino, the fanatic who ruled the night. In the shadowed streets of Renaissance Rome, fear did not belong to mortals alone. It belonged to vampires, hunted not by slayers, but by their own. At the heart of this terror stood one name, Santino, a zealot, a judge, and a tyrant who turned faith into a weapon. Santino's rise was not one of power, but of belief, an unwavering, merciless conviction that vampires were the cursed spawn of hell. Therefore he founded the Children of Darkness, a Rome-based cult that imposed brutal discipline on its kind. But then there was a problem. Not every vampire accepted damnation. Some, like Marius, lived openly, indulging in art, music, and philosophy. This was heresy in Santino's eyes, heresy that had to be crushed. Under his rule, fledgling vampires were not nurtured, but broken, starved, indoctrinated, forced to renounce their past lives. He did not create followers. He forged zealots, bound by a singular purpose, to purge any vampire who defied their damnation. But then, a single act would unravel it all. Marius de Romanus had lived for centuries, protecting those who must be kept, the ancient beings who anchored vampire kind. He rejected the cult's fanaticism. Therefore, Santino saw him as the ultimate blasphemer. One night, under the cover of darkness, Santino's followers descended upon Marius's Venetian sanctuary. They burned his home, slaughtered his fledglings, and left him for dead. But then, Marius survived, and unlike Santino, he did not forgive. Years later, Marius returned, his vengeance slow and deliberate. The Children of Darkness began to vanish, one by one. Santino's iron rule fractured, and when the old order crumbled, the Parisian vampires who would become the Théâtre des Vampires replaced his once mighty cult with something new, something theatrical, decadent, and ruthless in its own way. But what of Santino? Santino fled, surviving into the modern nights, but as nothing more than a relic of an outdated faith. Lestat, seeing no use for him, spared his life. Armand, once a victim of his cruelty, let him go. Santino had become something he once despised, a creature without purpose. Fear made Santino powerful, but it was not the fear he imposed, it was the fear he clung to, the fear that, if he did not enforce damnation, he might have to face the truth, that vampires, in the end, are not demons at all, but creatures of choice. What do you think? Was Santino truly a villain, or just another vampire, terrified of the unknown?